Rain falls steadily outside, soaking the pastures and turning chores into a muddy dance. But lambing doesn't wait for perfect weather. Inside the barn, the air is warm with the scent of hay and mother's milk, and the gentle murmurs between ewes and their lambs. They fill the space with quiet purpose. This is Whispering Pines, a small farm in western New York, where the seasons turn, the wool grows, and spring always brings new life, ready or not. Over the past few weeks, lambing season has transformed our barn into a nursery of hope. Each newborn is the result of years of planning, breeding, and patience, destined to grow the kind of soft, crimpy wool that handspinners treasure.
All right, let's go meet the new arrivals. That's me. One of the questions I frequently get asked is, why are they in such little tiny pens? So those pens are called jugs. We put them in there because we want the mother and their lambs to form a bond so that when they're out on pasture, they can easily find each other based on either smell or sound.
The first lambs arrived on May 10th, 5 days earlier than our expected due date of May 15th. Which marks the standard 147-day gestation. Wrexham, a 2-year-old ewe and the product of artificial insemination using UK ram semen, was bred to our white ram lamb, Cooper's Hawk. All this year's pairings were with lamb rams, which can be a gamble, but each one delivered and earned their proven badge. Wrexham had twin ewe lambs, small at birth and still petite now, but full of potential. We're hopeful they'll inherit their parents' exquisite, soft, crimpy fleeces.
So the other question is, how long do they stay in the jugs? And the answer is not very long. They really only need to be together for about 3 days. And then we gradually transition them so that they can go out on the pasture. And these lambs are really ready to get out and start playing. So we're going to be doing that soon with some of the older ones.
Next came Chelsea, another ewe from our AI program, who was bred to Peregrine Falcon, a striking black spotted ram. On May 12th, she gave us a single ewe lamb, bold, spirited, and beautifully black. In contrast to Wrexham's dainty twins, this little one arrived bigger and full of energy. Chelsea handled the birth on her own. We found them already bonded, the lamb cleaned off and full-bellied. It's always a gift when everything goes smoothly. Then on May 13th, the third of our AIUs, Blackburn, gave birth to a sturdy little Moret ram lamb. She was bred to Earl Brown, a ram we brought in from another breeder in hopes of boosting the Moret genetics in our flock. As he's aged, Earl Brown has lightened and revealed himself to be Neogat, a lovely golden color that we wouldn't mind seeing more of. This was our first ram lamb of the season, and Blackburn is proving to be a devoted and protective mother.
One thing I found really interesting this year, I'm not sure if there was a coincidence here, but all the ewes that were from UK genetics, the AI ewes, and that would be, here's Blackburn, Chelsea, and Wrexham, were all born, their lambs were all born before the typical 147-day gestation period. So I don't know if that's a coincidence, but it's definitely one of those things with breeding, a mystery that who knows.
Next up was Mrs. Hughes, one of our senior ewes at 9 years old. On our farm, 10 is retirement age. At that point, our girls get to spend the rest of their days growing legendary fleeces. But with a remarkable micron count of 21.8, Mrs. Hughes earned one last trip through the lambing jugs. We paired her with peregrine falcon, and together they delivered a striking pair, a black spotted ram lamb and a dainty black ewe. I have a soft spot for black fleeces. Some knitters shy away from them due to the challenge of stitch definition, but as a spinner, I find them absolutely enchanting. The ram has smerslet markings on his face, but that body marking, I have no idea what that is. I'll have to research that.
There's 3 ewes that we're still waiting to have their lambs. We're just watching them very expectantly with our, we call it the lamb cams, but our barn cameras. So we've got cameras sprinkled throughout the barn so we can keep an eye on them from any device that we have in the house. So it's really been a game changer. We used to have to creep into the barn with a flashlight. Now we can just turn on the app on the phone and check on them, and it's really great.
After a brief pause in lambing, the barn sprang back to life. 5 ewes in quick succession, starting with Electra. She's our friendly black ewe, and this year we paired her with Earl Grey, a black-based ram we picked up alongside Earl Brown. Honestly, he was a bit of an afterthought, a quarantine companion we brought in on a volume discount, but he's earned his keep and then some. We didn't need Grey in the flock, but the 2 spotted catmugget ewe lambs he sired with Electra are absolute showstoppers. Proof that sometimes the unexpected pairings yield the most spectacular results. Later that same day, Tosca, our least affectionate ewe, and not shy about showing it, delivered a beautiful pair of white and black spotted ewe lambs, sired by peregrine falcon. Tosca's conformation is outstanding, a long, elegant frame that yields loads of fleece. I'm hopeful her daughters grow into that same shape. And while Tosca's not thrilled about how curious and friendly her girls are, especially when they come over asking for scratches, watching their personalities unfold has been pure joy.
So of the 15 ewes that we put with a ram, 8 of them have had lambs so far. And there's 3 left to have babies. 3 of them, we're still kind of up in the air. Fanny is one, and she had a stillborn lamb. Leighton does not appear to be bred. And Gertrude, we're really kind of still up in the air with her. The thing is, she has to have her lambs by June 15th. That's after the gestation period from when we pulled them out. So if she's not bred, she's just having a grand old time in here, getting special treatment and extra grain. So no harm, no foul.
Next up was Isolda, a 3-year-old gray catmugget ewe with a fleece that's always been one of my favorites. A long staple, it's soft and beautifully crimpy. Isolda's the kind of sheep I gravitate toward on a hard day. She's got a bit of a grumpy streak, and honestly, I find that comforting. We paired her with Earl Grey, and she delivered a lovely little ewe lamb with quiet confidence, like she'd been doing this for years, even though this was her very first time. A calm, capable mother right from the start. Later that same day, Tovia, our dependable Morit producer, gave us a lovely solid colored Morit pair. Earl Brown was the sire, helping us continue our focus on rich, warm tones in the flock. At 7 years old, Tovia still carries a fine fleece with a micron of 23.5, which is a testament to our breeding goals of maintaining softness as ewes age. These two lambs are a bit on the leggy, more slender side, and we're keeping a close eye on them, but it might just be their build. Either way, they've got excellent genetics on their side.
So when I'm going through the numbers and the lamb results, you're probably asking yourself, how did you guys manage to have such a high proportion of ewe lambs? So far, we are up to 11 ewes and 4 rams, which is unprecedented. So one theory is that the female sperm swim slower and live longer. And we bred the sheep later this year by about a month because we had a grandson that was born on December 8th and we didn't want to put the breeding groups together before he was born. So it's possible that we waited long enough that the boy sperms just got tired out and the girls made it to the egg. So it's just been really interesting though how many ewes we've had this year.
Our final ewe lamb so far this season was Adriana, affectionately known as Addie. She's one of our smaller ewes, but she delivered twins like a pro just a few nights ago. A solid Morit ram and a Yuglet marked Morit ewe. Both are thriving, even if they're on the petite side. I'm excited to see how the smaller lambs will keep pace once we bring everyone together for their first pasture practice in the barn. We bred Addie to Earl Brown, and while I love her fine fleece, it's her woolly face and gentle personality that makes her truly special. Seeing her take to motherhood so naturally has been one of this year's sweetest rewards.
So thank you for joining me for this video. Every lamb here is a little bit of hope wrapped in wool. Just pure joy and lots of potential. So we'll be keeping you posted as they grow and mature and get out on the pasture and jump and run wild and just have a grand old time. So I hope you can join us for future videos. Thanks again.
Get enough of that. Trying. All right.